So sitting here at this table, I want to welcome you guys to the With Purpose podcast. I'm here with Yazid, Younis, Rami,
What's up?
part of Terminal 5.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for coming to the studio.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Get into the conversation. Younis, Rami, we got some rapport. Yazid, we just met today, but man, you're a good soul, I can already tell.
You're a better soul, man.
If you're friends of these guys, you're definitely a friend of mine.
Man, appreciate that, man.
You know, so with Purpose podcast, this is something that I like to just sit down with people who I feel are walking, you know, in alignment with their purpose, or, you know, what they're meant to be doing. And I see you guys very focused on what you guys created and what you're working on right now. And so, you know, you guys are part of Terminal 5. Tell me, like, where's this come from? What is Terminal 5? Who are you? You know, what's happening?
So the name came from, I actually traveled back to Palestine in 2018. And when I was on the airplane, I was just thought of the name Terminal 5 because that's the international terminal where all the international flights come in and out of.
Okay.
And I was like, I told myself one day I'm going to name something this. I don't know what it is. I was like, I don't know if I open a restaurant, if I do
Gas
something.
station.
Whatever it is. I was like, it's going to be called Terminal 5. And subhanAllah, you know, like it came to be where I met these guys, and then it just kind of fit. So, you know, Terminal 5 is like I said, the international terminal at O'Hare, and we're all kind of international comedians, so it makes sense that we call each other that.
What are the nationalities you got in the mix? Who's all part of that terminal?
I'm from Iraq, Palestine.
So me and Rami are both Palestinian.
Okay.
Younis is Iraqi.
Okay.
I'm from Iraq. Aldo is Pakistani, and Momo's Indian. So it started off with us 5 for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
And then now recently, Zaid Fouzi just joined our group, and
He's Syrian.
Syrian.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll keep building, bro.
So it started off with 5. Ironically, it was 5 people, but it's not limited to 5. So now,
Yeah, well, the name is because of the terminal, not because of the amount of people.
By the way, keep your voice on, your mouth on by the microphone. You're kind of cutting off.
sorry, big guy.
Hey,
Yeah,
got you.
Eunice is executive producer of this podcast, and he
I'm
just
just
wants
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He just looks like a sergeant. Dude.
he wants to make sure it's on par.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Man, that's beautiful to hear, though. What first brought you guys together? How'd you guys? Who saw who? What happened?
Me and Easy go way back since high school. So we've just been friends since, brothers now, but friends at the time. And then
I literally didn't react. I don't know what do you want from me?
I'm done.
Tell the story, you
And
ball
but
sack.
the way I met Rami was I was doing a show at College DuPage, shout out COD, and I had booked his best friend to come perform at the show. He was Eddie Yuma.
Eddie Yuma,
Shout out
baby,
Eddie
love
Yuma.
him.
Oh, you one's dope.
Yeah, hell yeah. He's Cuban. He's Cuban. I mean, I know you're half Cuban. You know, a lot of people do that. Yeah, it's like,
That's one of the dope things about him. Yeah,
that's the only thing. No, I love
Eddie
Eddie.
was, bro, I was on the phone with him earlier when I was on the way here. I love
Fucking legend.
Yeah, he's a good dude. We locked
love
in the
the
studio one time, and it was just good vibes.
Man, he's such a go, bro. But yeah, I had booked him for the show, and he's Rami's best friend. Rami was at the show, and then after the show got done, I was just hosting, and I was telling Rami how I wanted to do a show, and he's like, I want to do a show and do stand-up comedy. And then we kind of just was like, he brought his people, I brought my people, and then we just kind of, boom, fused.
This was one of your first stand-up shows.
No, this was like maybe me 6 months or a year into comedy, I would say.
It was my first show.
It was Rami's, yeah.
Yeah, so me and Younis, we started stand-up comedy together for the first time.
Like the shop?
It was roughly around the same time. Nah, this is just my voice, man. It was my brother's wedding yesterday.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
It was loud.
It doesn't matter how much or what I drank. This is what you get.
Well, we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it, Sabby. But I'm going to keep offering.
I'm catching it at all.
Yeah, but me and Younis, we first started getting back in touch together during UIC days, and we ran into each other randomly at the bus stop. We were like, yo, like, Younis, Yazid, yo, you still doing stand-up comedy? Oh, no, like here and there. And then we decided to, like, look out for shows to see if there's anything that came up. I peeped a Last Comic Standing at UIC. And Last Comic Standing, the winner gets to open up for a big comedian that performs at UIC.
Okay.
The year before, Hassan Minaj had came to UIC. So we were like, oh, it might bring somebody similar. So let's try it out. So me and Younis we performed, and Younis actually ended up winning Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
And he ended
Yes,
up
sir.
opening up for Jabuki Young White, who was on The Daily Show. So
Yeah.
Younis.
Then from there, we just kind of kept hitting more showcases. And, you know, like, I don't know, you experienced this. Like, you just build momentum. You know what I mean? Like, you get the first show, and then that show gets you another show. And then you're at that, you know, just kind of kept picking up. And before we knew it, I had, you know, done the show with Eddie Yuma. Then I saw Rami. We just all kept building. Then Rami was just like, he literally had that, he gave us that fire that we needed at the time. Like he said, we all met up at the Starbucks and he was just like, yo, we're about to do this show at a theater. Mind you, none of us have, like no real experience. Like we've done showcases. I got booked for some, but we've never been behind the scenes or produced one.
Yeah, one of the craziest things that actually happened was when we linked up at that Starbucks. Beforehand, we had seen Rami Youssef. He was doing his HBO stand-up comedy special in Chicago.
Yep.
And the only people that knew each other from the group was me and Younis, but we didn't know Rami, we didn't know Adil, we didn't know Momo.
Okay.
And they actually ended up being at that same show at that same time. And then when we linked up at the Starbucks, we were talking about the Rami Youssef show. They were like, "Wait, you were at that show? You were at that show?" It was like that one Spider-Man meme, that one pointy meme. So it was just like everything came full circle together, and we were like, "Yo, this is fate." Like,
yeah.
So it was just a great moment.
No, it was I think the coolest thing about what we did.
Yeah.
And I mean, I want to give us credit, man. I really think we started a wave with like independent shows, whether people want to admit that or not. But
for Chicago and the comedy scene.
For Chicago, Chicago
not just
comedy
in
scene,
general.
not just in the world. Like,
We're the first to do independent shows.
But I think like we were like, or at least me at the time was not getting booked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna wait for someone to put me on a show. Why would I? It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not the type of guy to sit around and wait. Let's
for
do it.
Opportunity to come, right?
Yeah. No, we make it ourselves. We build the door ourselves, and then we'll knock it down ourselves. And the coolest thing I think is that we really. Like when we had that first meeting at we just literally met up at a Starbucks in like Rosemont or something.
Yeah.
And we were all there. We barely knew each other at the time. And I just came to them like, yo, let's rent out a theater. Let's do it. And then I was like, let's do 100 seats. I think we could do 100 seats.
This is all in that same.
And it's all in the same thing. And then everyone was kind of like, except Yazid. Everyone was like, dude, I don't think we could do 100. 100 is like
Yazid
a lot of
was
people.
down for it too. Yeah. I didn't believe it, bro.
And I told them, yo, like, if we don't do 100, I'll whatever money we lose, I'll pay that shit. I really believe that we could do it.
I mean, the way I thought of it was like, yo, I know 20 people like minimum alone. You know what I mean?
Just family, friends.
I can get 20 people easy. So that's already 1/5. If 20 of us each person, that's 100. That's easy math right there.
Easy math.
Yeah,
easy math. It's quick maths.
Big munting.
We did it.
Yeah.
We sold it out like weeks before the show.
Man, what was it called? Was it Terminal 5 or
It
what?
was Terminal 5's first show. It was called The Rivals.
The Rivals.
Arrivals, yeah.
Oh,
Arrivals, yeah. I think you just made up a word. I don't know what it said. This man said derivals. Then he had the audacity to nod his head like he knew what that meant. He literally he said derive. Oh yeah, like that's like it was clever. Or something.
I thought you said the rivals, like rivals. Yeah. Yeah.
It literally sounds like Derival sounds.
Oh yeah.
He said it like a psychiatrist.
Like he's like about to write this down or something.
Dude, that sounds like a new Avengers movie.
Yeah, the rivals.
Avengers, the Rivals.
The rivals.
Derivals.
Or like
Derivals. That's a good name.
alternative band.
Bootleg.
Yeah.
No, that's funny as hell. No. But yeah, so that's what happened. And then we that first show sold out. We did effing three more. The next one sold out in less than 24 hours. It was like sneakers that dropped, bro.
Two shows back to back that sold out in less than 24 hours.
It was, and alhamdulillah, thank God for it. He's blessed us with the ability to do what we do. But oh my gosh, it was just like
ridiculous.
But that just kind of reaffirmed the work that you guys been putting into the comedy game on your own, and it was just a huge explosion of once you guys worked together.
Yeah, and it wasn't just that; it was just definitely like the love from the people that are supporting us for sure, 100%. Like they word of mouth like spread like crazy, and of course social media really like lifted it up. And
I think people sleep on the grassroots of certain things.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like we literally just started small, got a small theater, just started with what we know and who we know, and then just kept doubling up after that.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I think it's slept on grass.
So shout out the fans.
The supporters. Without people support, what are we doing? We're telling jokes to no one. You know what I'm saying? How many shows have we done where there's nobody there?
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful to have people that not only like come out, but like believe in me, that believe in us, that see how crazy our vision is, but instead of knocking it, they're like, dude, we're gonna help you get there. What can we do? How can we help? And there's people in my life that, man, that keep me going personally, that we're not thought about giving up. everything. Because I have, you know, I'm going to be blunt, you know, I'll be honest. There's been times where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I think you think of all the people that support you, that believe in you, and it's like you'd be letting them down.
Yeah.
And it's bigger than, it's always been bigger than, T5 has always been bigger than us. Yeah. You know, our first show, you know, we donated everything to Yemen, and we decided that together, and it's always, it's bigger than us, man. It's you know, we're really trying to change perception here, and we're really trying to change the world here, and as cheesy as that sounds, but yeah, so that's what it's about, man.
No, that's the goal. I really like the fact that you brought up, like, man, I almost wanted to give up. I feel like a lot of artists and creatives don't talk about that enough, where it's like, yo, we're still human, and there's days that are really tough, you know what I mean? Like, and it's normal.
We were just talking about that earlier.
I swear. It's so normal to think, like, man, is this meant for me? You know, you have those days, but the reality is, like, you just got to remind yourself, like, it's bigger than you. You got to do it for the people that, you know, like, there's people that would die, you know what I mean?
You have to trust it. You have to trust.
Yeah, and you got to look around. If this many people are believing in me, investing their time into me, like, I owe it to them and to myself to, like, let them know you're gonna get that return on that investment you poured into me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like you got to really set your stuff aside and be like, this is all bigger than me, and I'm just a vessel. You know what I mean? If I don't go hard for whatever is in front of me, now I'm affecting other people around me too as well. Because whether you think about it or not, people are depending on you to do well. And why isn't that like such a, look at that as a positive pressure, knowing that the harder I go and the more success I bring, the more success I bring onto others. And that's just really what should be the focus.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, like you said, full disclosure, I was on the phone with Eddie Yuma on the way here.
Yeah.
And I was telling him kind of the same thing that I was like, man, I don't know how much longer. But in you know, it's me just talking, but obviously I'm gonna keep going. But and we were just talking about it, and we were both saying, like, if we gave up, if we just called it, if we stopped, like, everything we did, everything we worked for, what is it for?
Right.
It's just, all it is, if we give up, it's unfinished.
Yeah.
It's incomplete, and that's it. And what do you get from that? We have a story to tell, and if we started it, we're going to finish it. And until the wheels fall off, we tell each other that. And then I really mean that. We're going to keep going until
also,
till
like,
I
don't see myself doing anything else, though. Like, if I was to quit today, what am I going to be doing?
This guy in a job? Imagine this guy at a 9 to 5. Imagine walking in your office and seeing Younis. what do you know what I'm saying? Just, this is what I really believe this was meant for these people. And I feel like our families came to this country. Younis literally came to this country. Like, my dad struggled so I can not just survive, but I can chase, I can live, I can thrive. Yeah. And like, I keep that in the back of my head a lot. Like, this doesn't, I don't take it for granted that I have this ability, you know, that I'm blessed to be able to do something special, to do something different. To do whatever you do as a creative to where it could fund your life. Like, if you're getting by off that, or not even if you can't fund your life, but the fact that you're in a space where you can do that, and like, you get to enjoy what you love to do with other people, and if you get reward from it, cool. But if not, like, some people really have to, like, live in a completely different world than you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, to the privilege that you have, and like the responsibility that comes with too. Like, use that time to create. Like, don't just do something to do something. If you're gonna put yourself in this space, be like, all right, I'm gonna just, it's gonna go through me, and I'm gonna create something really dope. And then whether that be getting the reaction you want out of someone to laugh, or they're liking your music, like, there's so many ways to captivate that feeling, but it's like such a duty to just, whatever you do, give it your all. I think I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were just talking about being present, and I think just like that should be a true main focus in what you're doing. Of just like, let me just be present and just focus on this thing while I'm doing this. Yeah. You know? So hard. Easier said than done, definitely, but yeah, that's the way. Goal. No, for sure. Yeah. What keeps you going? What are some things that keep you going? Man, just I have to. If I don't keep going, like, no one else is gonna push up for me. No one's gonna show up to do the things that I got in front of me. Like, there's only so much you can do that you can do. You can't give to someone else to do or expect someone else to do it for you. Like, I can't, no matter what, if I'm having a bad day that morning, I gotta show up for myself, because now I got other people depending on me. The work that I do is part of other people's businesses. Like, they're trying to get their stuff just as much as I'm trying to get going with my stuff. And if I'm not on my grind, I'm slowing up their process. You know what I mean? Sure. So there's a lot more on the line with what I do that puts me in a space where I can't slow down, because if I slow down, now I'm messing up someone else's, like, life in a way. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's bigger than all of us, like you said earlier. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, you may have discussed this before, but you know, the name change from DJ Sab to Sabby.
Yeah.
What was that about? Was there a personal thing, or was that?
No, it was, I was starting to get into the space with media, and I think I was just talking to Mike P about this, and just taking the name DJ out of my name and also changing my name to something I felt that was more me. Like Sabby's always been my nickname growing up, and I don't know any other Sabby, but once I was getting into the space, I was like, if I keep DJ in front of my name, it's gonna just put me in a box. So when people ever they look at me, they're just gonna see, oh, he's a DJ.
Yeah.
/ whatever he's doing at the moment, or that doesn't make sense. Go back to DJing. That's all we know you for, what you want to follow you for.
Yeah.
You know, so I think just having that in front of my name would just put me in a box, and I don't want to be a DJ forever. Like I use DJing as an expression of music because I love music, and I'm a big fan of just a lot of artists and a lot of sounds. That's a way of expressing myself, but like that's not my forever. You know, like
so what is, if you don't mind?
What is my forever?
What is the end goal? If it all ended tomorrow, like what would you want your legacy to be? For career, obviously not.
There's several things. Like there's obviously things I want to be known for a career, but on a personal level, towards like my family and my future family to be, there's certain things I want to be remembered by. Yeah. But ultimately, it's just legacy, whether it be in work or just in personal. It's just like I have a track record of just impactful moments or aspects, not only in my life but other people's lives, you know. So that's really what my end goal is, to look back and people feel so like touched like by the things that they can look back on the memories we shared, or just like, you know, by inspiring them in some kind of way, or they not even knowing me but they mess with my music heavy, or I made one of their best nights ever because they went to one of my events and it was like a blast. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna remember you for so many little things, but it has to like be I just always want to leave a positive net versus the negative. You know, and we want to look back and be like, all right, I set this thing's up for my future family. I made these many memories. I helped this many people. Like, and it's not even about a numbers thing, but it's just like I feel like that's just a track record, and then just instill that for my legacy to keep going on through kids.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful for real.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. But if we said, what about you guys? Career like if we're talking career specifically, Younis Dhaher, what would you want? Dream out loud. Don't.
It's weird because like I'm in a transition of like trying to branch out, and because I don't know, like I was making music, and then that was like I felt like. Well, first I'll start from the beginning. It started with stand-up, and I love stand-up comedy. You know, it's like the love of, you know, that's one of my biggest passions, everything about it. And I always want to do that for the rest of my life. But I also don't want to be boxed in, like you said. Like, I don't want to just be as just the funny guy. And that's why I think I really fell in love with music, is because it was another way to express myself. Like, there's stuff that I could do on stage with stand-up that I can't do, but music allows me to express that side of me. So it's like, and then later on down the line, I want to be able to like maybe do more acting. Right now I do behind the scenes in the camera where like, I just love every aspect of the creation. You know what I mean? Like as long as I'm just creating, whether it be a music video, if you're making a song, need someone to shoot the video, I love that aspect. If you need someone to just, you know, like Rami's working on this show, I don't want to give too many details, but he, you know, like, hey, Younis, can you come be this character in this thing I'm writing? Like, that's like dope. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want to limit myself. And I felt like early on, you know, that's why I really tried hard to like put out as much music, music videos, and people are like, yo, you're spreading yourself too thin. But it's just, I just love the craft.
I don't believe that. I don't believe in that.
And I feel like this is like, when you look at it, this is like a lifetime sport. Like this isn't like a sport that just relies on I could be fit and could do these movements up until like I'm 35. Like within the space that we're in, we could do this till the day we actually do die. So it's a lifetime sport. So you know that the more that you go put time up and apply your efforts towards it, you're only going to get better on top of what you already are. And that's what's cool, you know?
And that's what I realized about any craft. It's like, there are people that are just born super gifted at whatever craft, and good for them, you know, but they still got to put in the work to maintain that. And I also realized like I could do anything as long as I put my head to it and like